The MacPro Help Desk team welcomes your suggestions for our training and reference materials. Please contact us with your feedback and comments on this training, or if you need other MacPro assistance. You may contact us via email at macpro_helpdesk@cms.hhs.gov or by phone at 301-547-4688.
To be efficient with our time during this demonstration, prior to this training, we already created a Child Quality Measure Course Set report with all course set measures completed, and it's ready to be submitted to the State Point of Contact, or SPOC, for review. To access reports that you are in the process of working on, go to the Records tab on the upper toolbar. As a refresher, the Records tab is where you can go to access reports that are in progress or complete. Select Medicaid and CHIP Child Quality Measures to access our in-progress report. Before we move forward with our report, I'm just going to pause to point out the new report ID format. Again, this ID format consists of a 2-character state abbreviation, the federal fiscal year of the report, the letter M for Medicaid or C for CHIP, the letter Q for quality measures, a system-generated 4-character digit string, and the letter O for official. If you select the link to the report record, it will take you to a screen with a summary of the report, and this screen includes a timeline indicating the stage in the process the report is in. It also includes the report information, the SPOC information, and the audit information. You'll also notice towards the top of the page, you also have the option to view news related to this report, additional related actions, the report data, and as you can see by the screen we're on now, the summary. If there are multiple versions of the report, you could also view older versions of the report here. Let's continue with modifying this report so we can forward it to the State Point of Contact. So we'll select the Modify button in the top right-hand corner. Again, this is a report we created ahead of time to stay efficient in this training. Therefore, all the core measures you see on the screen are listed as complete. Next, we will enter a delivery system information by indicating the percentage of enrollees that there were in each delivery system. For this training, we will assume all enrollees were in the fee-for-service delivery system by indicating 100% for both Medicaid under age 21 and CHIP. Again, we are at the Audit or Validation of Measures section. This time, instead of selecting no, we're going to select yes. When the table appears, we're going to select the ADD core measure as an example from the drop-down menu. And in the Who Conducted the Audit or Validation text box, we will enter a state representative. Again, this is arbitrary information. Next, we will select whether we obtained assistance from one or more external contractors in collecting, calculating, and/or reporting your course set data. This section is optional, but for this demonstration, we will indicate none of the above. We calculated all the measures internally. Next, you have the opportunity to upload accompanying report documents. As a note, you can upload a maximum of 84 documents to a report, and the maximum file size is 2 megabytes. PDFs, PowerPoints, Word documents, and/or Excel spreadsheets are all acceptable for uploading. We already have a document uploaded, but we will choose to upload a second document for this training. First, we will select Upload. Then we will select a sample document for our files by double-clicking on it. Once the file loads, a description text box will become available. This text box is required, so let's type uploading document for training purposes. Then we'll click outside of the text box and we'll select Save Documents. Upon saving, you may be taken to the Documents Save in Progress page. So after waiting a few seconds, you can select the refresh button to return to the admin screen. If we scroll to the bottom, we'll see that our document was uploaded. You are able to sort documents that were uploaded by clicking on the column header. And once you do so, a blue arrow will appear to indicate the column header that the documents are being sorted by. And it will also indicate that the documents are being sorted in ascending or descending order. Again, you may upload documents from a course set measure screen, as well as from the admin screen, which is centrally located at the bottom of the screens. All uploaded documents are uploaded to the report in general and are not specifically uploaded to course set pages. If at some point you want to delete a file, you may check the box next to the file and select Delete Documents. A verification prompt will appear, and we will select Yes. At this point, we are ready to request the state POC review for the 2017 Medicaid Child Quality Measure Set. So we'll select the Request State POC Review button at the bottom of the page. This takes us to the record summary dashboard for this report, and as you can see on the timeline, the report is now in review. Additionally, there is no longer an option to modify your report in the upper right corner of this page. The state POC received a notification in their inbox and a task in MacPro indicating that their review was requested for this report. You will not be able to edit this report as state editor, again, unless the state point of contact returns the report to you. So now we will log out as the state editor. Now we are going to be reviewing the quality measures report as the state point of contact. So first, as you saw, we signed out as the state editor and we're logging back in as the state point of contact. As a note, if you hold both the state editor and state point of contact roles concurrently, you would not need to log out and log back in. You would just need to select the task tab to refresh it and the task would appear in your task list. Again, this is the training environment, and although we are using user IDs from Iowa, this is not a reflection of the state in any way. We're taken to our Actions tab like we were previously. We will begin reviewing the 2017 report as the SPOC. In order to start on our task, let's go to the Task tab in the upper toolbar. The report ID we were working with previously had a package ID ending in 0022. We will select Review and Edit Report for the Child Quality Measure report. The task will initially go to all appropriate users because there may be more than one state point of contact with access attributes that match the report. Once the task is accepted by a single state point of contact, it will be removed from the other user's task list, and the SPOC would then be assigned to the report. So if it's applicable to your state, please select the Accept button at the top of the page that you'll see in a blue banner to proceed with reviewing the report. We now have the option as the SPOC to select any of the core measures that we would like to review. For this training, let's select the checkbox next to the follow-up care for children prescribed ADHD medication or ADD core set measure. Next, we'll scroll to the bottom of the page. And we'll take a second here to look at the buttons available. So be careful not to select the Return Report to SE or Send for Certification buttons before you are ready. However, if you do so, the state editor can return the report to you for continued review by resubmitting it to you. Or if you were to select the Send for Certification button, the state director can return the report to you by denying certification. We're instead going to select the Go to Selected Measure button. This takes us to the ADD core measure information. To view all responses without manually expanding every field, select the View All Responses button in the top right of this page. As the SPOC, you do have the ability to edit these sections. So for this training, we're going to change the status of the data reported from final to provisional. So we'll scroll through the report and review the entire measure. As the SPOC, anytime you make an update to the report as part of your review, the system will default the validation question at the end of the page to no. After making your update, please ensure that you revalidate and resave before moving forward. As a reminder, all core measures need to be in the complete status to enable you to send the report to the State Director for certification. So we just selected yes for the validation question, and now we're going to save. Once saved, we will scroll back down and select Go to Admin Screen. Once your review is complete, you have the option to return the core measure set to the state editor for continued edits. If you do this, the state editor will receive a notification that the report has been returned to them for edits, and they will have a task in their task list when they sign into MacPro. We encourage you to communicate with your team during the review process. You can do so by using the news page functionality, or you can also choose to do so outside of MacPro. If an SPOC returns a report to the state editor for further edits, it's a good idea to send the state editor a note letting them know what specific edits you would like within the report. Alternatively, the SPOC may send the core measure report to the state director for review and certification. For this training, we will send the report to the state director for certification. This returns us to our task list, and there's no longer any tasks listed for us to complete regarding this report. The state director will receive a notification letting them know that there is a report to review and certify in MacPro, and they will also have a task in their task list. We'll log out as the state point of contact at this point, and we'll move to the next step in the workflow as the state director. Let's get started by logging in as the state director. As a couple of reminders, when you log in, you'll notice that the initial login page for MacPro looks identical to the CMS Enterprise portal. After you log in with your EIDM credentials, you will automatically be routed to MacPro. And again, if you hold multiple state roles concurrently, you would not need to log out and log back in. You would just need to select the Task tab to refresh it. Like when the SPOC logged in, the state director is also taken to their Actions tab. To navigate to the task list, select the Task tab. Then select the task to review and certify the report. This takes us to the report admin page. Before beginning your review, you may have to select Accept at the top of the page. Again, this would apply to states who have multiple state directors with attributes that match the report. Once the task is accepted, the task to review the report will be removed from other users' task lists. Unlike the state point of contact and the state editor, the state director does not have the ability to edit the core measure information. If there are issues with the report, the state director has the option to deny certification. This will return the report to the state point of contact for further review and edits. In order to have the option to deny certification, the state director must include a comment on at least one core measure. So first, let's review a core measure as the state director. We'll select the blue link to the Follow-up Care for Children Prescribed ADHD Medication or ADD measure. The state director may view the information inputted into MacPro by the state editor and the state point of contact by expanding each of the fields via the plus/minus buttons. Again, the information entered is in a read-only format. However, the state director does have the ability to enter a comment on the measure at the bottom of the screen. For this training, we're going to add a brief comment into the text box provided, such as "looks great." Now that we've reviewed the course set measure information on this page and have entered a comment, we will return to the admin screen by selecting the option at the top of the page titled Back to Admin Screen. And please note, unlike the other pages that we've seen thus far in MacPro, clicking this link saves the comment information that you've entered. So there's not a save button on that screen for you to select prior to continuing back to the admin screen. Now that we're on the admin screen, let's take a moment to point out the information that's available here. The state director may review the report information, such as the annual report ID, the report year, the extension date if applicable, and the state and program. Additionally, the state director may review the audit information, including who created the report and who last updated the report, along with the dates and times for these actions. The state director also can review each core measure, the delivery system information, the audit or validation of measures section, the external contractor information, and any uploaded report documents. At the bottom of this page, the state director has the options to either deny certification or submit the report to CMS. Again, I'd like to remind you that the deny certification button is only available because we added a comment on a core measure. The Certify and Submit to CMS button will always be available regardless of comments entered or not. So we're going to choose to move this report forward, so we will select the Certify and Submit to CMS button. A verification message will prompt us to verify that we are sure we want to submit the report to CMS, and we will select yes. This returns us to our task page, and you'll notice that there's no longer a task listed regarding the report. CMS has now received a notification that your report was submitted and it's available for their review. You will also receive a notification letting you know that your report was submitted. So that concludes the state process workflow for submitting a quality measures report.
The MacPro Help Desk team welcomes your suggestions for our training and reference materials. Please contact us with your feedback and comments on this training, or if you need other MacPro assistance. You may contact us via email at macpro_helpdesk@cms.hhs.gov or by phone at 301-547-4688.